1 ounce. Have you ever heard of 1 ounce? Most people haven't, but if you have, I love you. But if not, I'm going to tell you what it's about. 1 ounce is a sports, psychological, and seinen anime that came out in 2008. And the plot is this. After the main character, Tokuchi, I'm sorry bro, every time I see his name, I just think of feet and pussy bro. I just thought that was funny. I know I'm a child, stop it. After Tokuchi, a very skilled gambler and pitcher beats a professional baseball player named Kojima at the baseball game called 1 ounce. Kojima recruits Tokuchi to his team to help them win the baseball championship after he acknowledges his skills. But the owner of Kojima's baseball team doesn't really like Tokuchi and doesn't really think that he has anything to offer. So Tokuchi comes up with a plan called the 1 ounce contract, which is how he'll be paid. And one of the biggest rules of the 1 ounce contract is that for every strikeout or out that Tokuchi produces, he'll get 5 million yen, which is around $34,000 for all my American niggas. But for every run that Tokuchi gives up as a pitcher, he has to pay the owner 50 million yen, which is around $340,000. And so this is where 1 ounce begins. And the cat and mouse game, the back and forth between the owner of the team and Tokuchi starts. I didn't really have an incentive at first for watching 1 ounce. I think I was scrolling on TikTok and somebody said that it was a peak sports anime and this is the sports anime arc, so I thought why not? Also with 25 episodes, I thought boom, I could binge it in like 2-3 days, make a video, and it'll be good. But my incentive that I found out for watching 1 ounce was, for one, it was made by Studio Madhouse, one of my favorite studios of all time. Y'all know this, I'm not about to give the whole spiel. Death Note, Nana, Beck, the list goes on. Hunter x Hunter, come on now. The main character has spiky hair that's blonde. Dude, Super Saiyan nigga, come on now. Of course I'm interested in that. In sports and gambling. I used to play sports, and a lot of y'all don't know this, but I used to gamble a little. When I was younger, I was with my brothers, cousins, and one of my aunties. And we used to play pity pat for nickels and quarters. And with me being the young gambler nigga that I am, you know, I was Kenji Hikari from Jujutsu Kaisen, bro. Stop playing with me. But I won.
Yeah, Yahtzee, nigga, Yahtzee.
And I remember going to the corner store to the candy man and getting a hot sausage po' boy with the quarters and nickels that I won. But going back to 1 ounce, this was my incentive for actually watching the show. And off rip, when I first watched it, bro, the beautiful and somber rock opening that 1 ounce has really defines the times that it came out in. You know, the mid 2000s when Y2K and rock and emo were really getting popular. You know, it might have even been the peak of that, but I don't know. That's just, I don't know. But it gives a lot of like Nana vibes, you know. Also, why the fuck was he naked, bro? Pull your pants up, Patrick. We're going home. I need an adult. But he also just looked so intimidating, bro. Like you could barely see his eyes, bro. He's like on some Hisoka type shit, bro. You know? Well, not in that case, but you know, he don't swing nothing, bro. The only swing that he does is nothing because he's a pitcher. He doesn't swing shit. And so this is where my 1 ounce journey began. In my opinion, Tokuchi's character is one of the biggest selling points in all of 1 ounce. He's like one of the top 7 smartest characters in all of anime, bro. And I could say that with my chest, bro. Light Yagami, Lelouch, Johann Liebert, Ayano Koji-kun from Classroom of the Elite. I honestly feel like he's up there with all of them, but just because 1 ounce is so underrated, nobody talks about it. Tokuchi is a very cold-blooded, confident, methodical, observant, tactful, and intimidating character. But a lot of the things that he says and does are very justified and they really help his team out. But it's still just like the rest of the team are just fucking tools, bro. Like I'm not even trying to be mean or nothing like that, but they just seem so helpless outside of Tokuchi. Like they really couldn't do anything for themselves. And this is another problem that a lot of people had with 1 ounce, you know. But at the same time, people have to understand seinen is different from shonen, you know. Shonen, for example, boom, you might have a young boy going through high school for the first time. He might need to learn how to defend himself. He might need to learn how to, you know, not be afraid to do things. And that's fine. But with seinen, you know, for a more mature audience, they're grown. Adulthood is pretty much set in stone. Well, if you want it to be, you know, if you don't live a normal life, that's not the case. But it's routine. You know, you wake up, brush your teeth, go to work, school, whatever the fuck, go home, sleep, you know, and repeat. So it's like the experiences between adulthood and a child going through adolescence and experiencing life to get to that point are going to be different. So that's why I also feel like a lot of the characters in One Outs are very one-dimensional and they don't really change as much, but it's still extremely enjoyable and I really encourage you to go check it out. The music is just so amazing in this show. The soundtrack is also very ominous, atmospheric, and cold. At some points there was this one soundtrack that played, like bruh, it actually sounded like the Prowler's theme from, you know, the Spider-Man Spider-Verse movies. And it just really had me hooked and engaged. But what also keeps you engaged in One Outs is the atmosphere that's created in each of the different episodes. Whether you're at a casino at night and you see all of the bright, beautiful colors around you, whether you're on a baseball field at night and you see the lights from the stadium shining bright on you, or whether it's just a nice hot summer day and you see the bright, beautiful sky with the sun beaming down on you as you're playing baseball. It's just set so well with the dreamy, hazy effect that Studio Madhouse has always been good at doing and showing. So shout out to Madhouse. Also with the realistic art style and the shading that was in One Outs, it just made the characters really come to life and it made them feel so real and human, you know. And even with the facial expressions with some of the characters, bro, they look fucking menacing, bro. Like, do you see this, bro? You can't tell me this is not an antagonist. I thought he was the antagonist, but he was the protagonist, bro. I literally thought he was on some Light Yagami shit, but no. And also in One Outs, they really focus on the art of trickery and manipulation. I didn't say that Tokuchi was like Light Yagami Jr. for no reason, bro. He literally had the most crazy observation skills. He was insane at reading people and reading certain situations just so well. It was just so insane and crazy each episode to see how he was put in a certain situation and he almost always got himself out of these certain situations unscathed, unharmed, and it was just so, oh my gosh, it was just so crazy seeing it unfold in real time. And right now I'm going to give you a perfectly unedited version of one of these strategical battles that Tokuchi goes through. So enjoy. Alright, we have Minami Shiba at the mound for the pitch. And oh, he's trash. Oh no. Bruh, relax, okay? It's almost like you were getting paid to hit him on purpose. I'm sorry, Charlie. I put a hit out on that fake ass Super Saiyan. I need him out of this game now. After I get paid, I'm buying me some coochie tonight. We'll see. Oh my wamo shinderu, bitch. Ah, so you wanna dance with the devil in the moonlight. Please don't hurt me, please don't hurt. They also talk about how sports are rigged in some cases, you know, gambling in sports. Because bro, there's no way the Golden State Warriors blew a fucking 3-1 lead the first time in NBA history, bro. That shit had to be rigged, I'm sorry. And they also talk about strategy. Tokuchi really used people's fears and their personality traits against them so well, and he was playing mind games against everyone in the show. Like even how in episode 2, with how he beat Kojima, he beat that nigga Kojima so bad, bro, he turned him into Thorfinn. He had that nigga meditating in a forest, bro, chopping wood, sad as shit. I'm like, damn, he really Thorfinned that nigga, bro. That's crazy. Even the back and forth between the owner of the team and Tokuchi, it really felt like Light and L in Death Note when they were playing tennis. And L was trying to figure out how to prove that Light was Kira. And I was literally on the edge of my seat for every episode up until the end. It was just such a crazy ride and a crazy experience. Y'all know how y'all might see those videos on TikTok where it's like, oh, I just finished a 12 to 13 episode anime with no season 2 and it just changed my life forever. I kid you not, that's One Outs, bro. It felt like I watched Death Note for the first time. Like, again. No, but what actually happened to One Outs? There was a lot more of the story that was left to be told, but with no season 2 and no plans of a season 2, where do we go from here? Why wasn't there more? You know, what happened? Why is there no official dub of One Outs? You know, if the story actually continued, there might have been a chance for more development of the characters. That's a big question mark because, like I said, bro, them niggas were like 10-year-olds playing professional baseball, bro. They didn't know shit. But if there was a season 2 or season 3 or just more of the story, maybe down the line we could have got a backstory about Tokuchi and why he liked to gamble, why he liked to play baseball, and what he needed so much money for in the first place. Light Yagami is so interesting because we actually have a motivation for why he's doing what he's doing. Same with Lelouch, you know. And I'm not just trying to compare Tokuchi with them just, you know, openly. But I'm just saying, like, if Tokuchi actually had a backstory as to why he was gambling, why he needed so much money, then I feel like he would have been way more of a compelling, relatable type of character, you know. But I digress. I'm pulling back. I'm going home. He's still the GOAT. But as to why One Outs never continued, from my research that I've done, it got Black Clovered low-key, you know. The anime caught up to the manga, and there wasn't a lot of material left to be adapted into the actual anime without it being filler. But you can't really do that with a series like One Outs, which isn't a long-running shonen anime. Which leads into the next problem, the genre. It's a psychological sports anime, and that's extremely niche and has a different appeal from your typical shonen, you know, battle anime. So it's almost like a double-edged sword, because on one hand, you will almost always grow like a cult following with these types of shows and series, but at the same time, it may never reach mainstream status, which will allow for another season, and which will allow for different merch and different opportunities for the show and series and author to make even more money and for it to continue. And this leads into the third reason why One Outs didn't continue. It never achieved that mainstream status of like other different sports anime that are like strictly sports, you know, and also cater toward like a younger audience, because shonen is one of the most popular genres of anime in the whole world. I don't even think that you need half of a brain cell to know that a swole ass nigga with golden hair that's spiky as shit beating another swole ass alien man that's purple and white, you don't need half of a brain cell to know that that's entertaining, fun, cool, and hype to most people out there. And also, the production team of One Outs actually felt that 25 episodes was a good enough amount of episodes for you to actually watch One Outs and then be so interested in the anime that you actually buy and continue the series with a manga. Some studios feel like a certain number of episodes are good enough for a season of an anime, they stop it, and then they just move on to the next one. And while it is sad that One Outs is the perfect example of one of these shows, I'll never forget about it after watching it. I really encourage y'all to watch it. It's a very different genre. It's very niche, but I still feel like you'll enjoy the strategical battles between the owner and Tokuchi and the rest of the teams, and Tokuchi with the managers and the other people that he comes into contact with, because it's so amazing, compelling, and worthwhile in my opinion. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to become a senpai or senpai-ette, the best, most inclusive community on YouTube. I love y'all. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Make sure to work out, stay strong, stay safe, and just keep working hard and following your dreams, okay? Goodbye and peace.